Today we are talking lacrosse, racing, softball, and basketball. All of that is straight ahead, and it's powered by the Red Zone over on Regent Street. But headlines are up next here on the Sports News on Channel 57. Welcome into the Sports News, your 30-minute look into the tackles, hits, checks, and dunks that make up the local sports scene. I'm your host, Rich Reynolds. Let's hit the ground running. The Wisconsin Badger football team had their first full-pad scrimmage of the spring, but they weren't in Madison. No. The Badgers set up shop for spring practices inside the Don Hudson Center in Green Bay this past weekend. Bucky's getting acclimated early on to their surroundings at Lambeau Field, as that's where they will open the season September 3rd against LSU. The most intriguing position battle remains at quarterback between Bart Houston and Alex Hornibrook. The spring game on April 23rd could help decide that one. The Badgers were busy off the field as well, as Barry Alvarez introduced two new coaches in 2 days. First, Tony Granato was named the leader of the men's hockey team. Granato was a legend on the ice when he played for the UW and in the NHL. Meanwhile, Jonathan Sippes has been called on to reinvent the women's basketball team. Sippes has spent the last 4 years at the helm of George Washington. Madison Radicals open their season this Saturday night at Bree Stevens Field against the Minnesota Wind Chill. The Radicals, who paid a visit to this very show last week, have won 24 straight games at home and have made the championship of the AUDL twice in the last 3 years. With most of the roster coming back, the Rads are favored to go far, maybe even hosting the title game, which will be in Madison this year, as title weekend will be August 6th and 7th. Despite two of the biggest crowds of the year, it was a tough weekend on the ice for the Madison Capitals, and that might be an understatement. The Caps were drubbed twice by the Muskegon Lumberjacks, losing 7-1 and 4-1. To add insult to injury, former Capital Charlie Gerard had the hat trick. In fact, 4 goals on Friday night. The Caps will finish up their regular season this weekend, as the last home game will be Friday night against Bloomington. And accolades were handed out around the state for boys basketball, and the kudos were there for Madison East senior Dang Dang. Dang was named the Madison Area Player of the Year, as well to the second team All-State. Other area players to be honored were state third-teamers Tyree Edie of Middleton and Seth Kostrowski of Sauk Prairie. The fourth team has Kyle Rutkowski of Evansville. And just to toot our own horn a little, all of those players were featured in games right here on Channel 57 Sports. In case you missed it, you can find those games on our YouTube channel. Also, remember to like our brand new Sports News page on Facebook. Please like us. I need the validation, please. For more information on all the 411 on our headlines, check out these fine websites. Stick around. We have a jam-packed show as we'll talk racing, basketball, boxing, and Stoughton sports. That's all next on the Sports News here on Channel 57 Sports. And we're back on the Sports News as we have a whole slew of Blue Devils here today, as we're going to be talking with Coach Mike Maves, Javon McAllister, Chase Maves, Trevor Bars, Will Peterson, and Andreas Heniatas, all from the Evansville Elite Basketball 6th grade travel team. And the first question is up for Chase. And Chase, if you could, give me a summary of your season so far.
I think we've had a good start, and we started off playing area teams like Oregon, Stoughton, and Madison Memorial. And then we went to Milwaukee and played Arrowhead and West Allis. And this weekend we went to Chicago and played the Chicago Demons in Geneva, Illinois, and our record is 25-5.
Wow, that's a really good season and lots of travel so far. We asked Trevor then next. Trevor, if you could, tell us about the upcoming state tournament.
It's going to be tough. We got the teams we know we're going to play are Freedom, Appleton Xavier, and Wrightstown. We just have to go in there confident, play our best, and play good team defense. And if we do all those things, we'll get far in the tournament.
I'm sure you will. Defense wins championships. Now, Will, if you could, every team's got strengths and weaknesses. Tell me a little bit about the Blue Devils' strengths.
We've had 5 kids that have been playing on the team since 4th grade. We like to We like to play. We have good defense. We have transitions up and down the court. One of our best strengths of our game is shooting outside the three-point line.
Excellent. Good shooting often leads to big wins as well. Andreas, I'm sure there's going to be some tough teams in that tournament. Who do you think the team to beat is?
The state reigning champs, Marshall. We're hoping to get to the championship and knock them out.
And we go to Javon now. And Javon, what do you like most about playing for the Evansville Elite team?
I like playing with my friends. I have a good coach, and I like playing hard teams so I can learn a lot about basketball.
Having a good coach always is important. And speaking of which, let's bring in Coach Maves a little bit. Coach, talk to us a little bit about this team and the makeup of this team. What makes them so good?
Well, the big thing is like I think Willie said back here, we've been playing together since they've been in 4th grade, and that team chemistry that they have is pretty unique. They're not the biggest team, so they got to transition a lot. We like to run and gun, and we hang our hat on defense. They play great team defense, and I believe that's why they're in every game. I mean, even we play Division I schools or AAU teams like this weekend down in Chicago with the Chicago Demons. They won that team by a point because they played great team defense, and they were in it at the end to win. So it's, we're going to go up to Madison and we're going to do our best and see what little Evansville can do. But we're playing some private schools. It's going to be tough, and it'll be exciting.
I bet it will. And Coach, guys, have a great tournament. Good luck, and thanks for coming in
Hey,
today.
thanks for having us, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to the diamond right now as we bring in the Stoughton High School head softball coach. Kristen Siggett is here. And Kristen, thanks for joining us. And based on your finish in conference last year with your returning letter winners, where are you hoping that your Lady Vikings will finish in conference?
Our goal is always to come out #1 on conference, and we've been really close the last couple years. We finished 2nd and 4th, so we're really looking to step it up a little bit this year and finish on the top.
Badger South, always tough. Who do you see as the favorites?
Monroe is always the favorite. They've won it the last few years. Everyone's always out to see if we can get on top of them. But also Fort Atkinson and Monona Grove are always up there at the top 2 that we're battling head-to-head with all season long.
You lost a 4-year starter in Sarah Seaton, and sometimes, well, that'll make things tough. Who are you expecting to step up into that leadership role for you?
Well, actually, our starting shortstop for the past few years will be our leader in the circle this year, Holly Brickson. She's been phenomenal at shortstop for us, so this year we're really looking for her to take over that role as our #1 pitcher.
Always need that out there, especially in softball. So important. And how about that offense? Because you got to score some runs. What's your offense looking like this season?
Well, last year we were very strong offensively, and we returned a lot of those core players. So we're really looking to continue that. We had a lot of hits last year. We are working on trying to convert those hits into some runs. Our team leader in hitting last year, Morgan Neuenfeld, will be back with us this year, so to kind of solidify the middle of our lineup there. So we'll be looking to her for some leadership with power and speed at the plate.
Now, as far as strengths offensively, is it more of a speed team, more of a power team?
Typically, we're more of a power team. We do have a few players that bring us some speed, but we really look to our power hitters to drive in those runs.
You always need some key players to make the team go. Who are some of the key players for the Lady Vikings?
Well, after I've talked a little bit about Holly and Morgan, after them we have Sammy Tepp, who is a 2-year captain for us, voted on by our teammates. She really brings that experience and that solid defensive play for us on the infield, so we'll be looking to her a lot. We also have a couple all-conference returners in Lexi Fitzsimmons and Liz Aubie, who will be bringing some more of that experience with us this year.
I think nobody does more self-scouting of any team than the coach, and especially the head coach. So if you're self-scouting your team, what's the big strength for the Lady Vikings?
Some of our big strengths, offensively, it's always been a strength of ours. So we work on that every single day, always work up to your strengths. So we hit every single day of practice to work on that offense. And the work ethic that our girls bring, the last 3 weeks of the season so far, we've been inside almost every single day, so I'm really proud of the way they've worked at it, and that contributes onto the field offensively and defensively as well.
Excellent, Coach. Thanks for being on. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
And we'll have more of the sports news right after this here on Channel 57. And welcome back as we shine a light now on a sport that is growing rapidly in the Midwest, and that is lacrosse. As Indy Sluka is here, and Indy is the representative for Mela Girls Lacrosse. Now, hey, where are we at in the lacrosse season so far, Indy?
Well, we've had preseason starting for the past month and a half or so, and we're actually going to be having our first games starting Tuesday, April 5th, and continuing on until the end of May.
Now, I'm guessing that with lacrosse, kind of like a lot of other sports, there's some crossover where kids will play other sports as they go along. What kind of crossover sports do you see lacrosse players playing?
We see a lot of crossover between hockey, football, soccer, and we actually have a lot of swimmers that come in on the girls' side, which is really good. A lot of endurance there.
Yeah, absolutely, what you need for lacrosse. And I'm also guessing, too, that there's certain skills that translate a little bit better from sport to sport. What are some of those skills?
Well, with the people that come in from basketball or soccer, we have a lot of motion that happens on the offense that they can really understand and get when we're trying to teach new players how to play lacrosse. But they also on defense too, just with how soccer and hockey and basketball works, just locking on, being able to look around to get good field sense, see where you need to go, where the ball's going to be next, and to help out your team, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as far as crossovers go, do you see it outside of just the players themselves?
No, we actually have a lot of coaches that come from different backgrounds, especially at the youth level. We have a bunch of hockey coaches that come in to fill in as coaches at the youth level. We also just have coaches coming up that have actually had no lacrosse experience whatsoever that turn out to be excellent coaches in our area that either came from a hockey background, soccer, or basketball.
I think with some of the background too in other sports, I think some people are looking for alternatives to some really hard-hitting or head injury sports that they've been seeing, maybe with soccer, football, stuff like that. Are you seeing that? I mean, you see the helmets in lacrosse, they're there for a reason, but I'm guessing that head injury's not as big of a part of the game, is it?
We do have some concussions that do happen in the sport, definitely at a lower extent than we see in, say, football, for example. But we have a lot of concussion protocols that we follow due to U.S. lacrosse training that we try to make sure that we identify a concussion early so we can sit players out, make sure that we don't have that. But we don't really, with the girls lacrosse, we don't have helmets. We have goggles that they use. So we don't actually have a lot of head injuries on the girls' side as much as with soccer.
That is music to parents' ears. Now, if the parents would like to get their kids involved, or the kids would like to get involved, how do they do that?
They can check out madlax.org, sort of see the teams that are around them. We have all the youth teams on there, the high school teams as well. And if you don't see a team within your school district, you can also, a lot of times we have players that just go in and co-op with an adjoining school district that's near them.
Excellent. Indy, good luck on the upcoming season.
All right, thanks.
Hey, let's head to the track and bring in Joel Willman from Joel Willman Racing. Now, full disclosure here, Joel and I go way back. So, Joel, it's great to have you in, and thank you for coming. Tell us, what have you been up to? Why are you racing to stop PTSD and TBI?
All racing from PTSD, TBI has been something I've been doing since 2007. It's hit home. I lost a lot of good friends to suicide for PTSD, TBI. So therefore, it was something that I felt was a great cause to, create more awareness, and it's kind of blown up to, national media with everyone trying to help our veterans with PTSD, TBI. So now what we do is we have numerous different organizations that work with us that we raise money for, and just try to keep them active and bring our veterans to the racetrack and some of the other events that we do outdoors to kind of make sure that everybody knows that they're not alone in this battle for PTSD, TBI.
That's a great cause. My dad being a Vietnam vet, and he's dealing with PTSD, so know a lot about it. So talk to us a little bit too about what organizations that you're raising money for in 2016, and how do you do that?
Well, right now we have 6 different partners as of yesterday. We brought on the United States Fire Department. They came on board, and we're going to be working with them. We also have Sponsor a Vet's Life. We also have One Warrior One. They provide service dogs for veterans. Sponsor a Vet's Life, they have a virtual world where you can go in and enter the virtual world, make an avatar, kind of get in there and to kind of float around, and it helps disabled vets that are having trouble being mobility. They can go in there, ride horses, race cars, drive motorcycles, And there's also a great opportunity for them to get therapy in there as well. It's very therapeutic. Again, we have Bone Stalkers. They're up in Madison, or Minneapolis, Minnesota. Please, Chad, don't hurt me. They actually take veterans hunting and fishing. We do bow hunting expeditions up there in Minnesota and on the verge of Wisconsin in Buffalo County area. So there's a lot of great opportunities for that. And then the last one that we're really working hard with is the Wisconsin Firefighters Department and was also Wisconsin Retired Police Association. Both of those are going to be raising money to help with the veterans that are suffering PTSD in the municipality role. And how we do that is we have big events. Every race that we do, we try to make a big event, and we just get per lap sponsors, and that actually goes to a PayPal account, and then they actually will donate right that, and that money goes right to that cause. So every lap means something. It's saving a life for every lap that we race.
Quickly, we got about 20 seconds here. Where are you racing at? Where can people catch you?
Well, in 2016, if all goes well, we're going to be racing at Tomah Sparta Speedway in Tomah, right down the road from Fort McCoy, as well as Dells Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells.
Very cool. We'll keep an eye on you. Joel, thanks for coming in. We'll have more sports news next here on Channel 57 Sports. This celebrity interview is sponsored by On Ice Promotions. And welcome back as we get to welcome in now Merrill Davis and Charles White. Now, they both gained some fame back just a couple of years ago at Sochi at the 2014 Winter Olympics as they became the first ice dancing couple to win the gold medal since the sport was invented back in 1976. And with the 2016 World Championships now just around the corner, Merrill and Charlie are joining us from Beijing, China, to talk about what's ahead for them and an exciting new initiative that's taking them to the Great Wall. Ni hao, Merrill and Charlie.
Ni hao, how are you?
Really good.
Hey, Merrill, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Good. Hey, Merrill, tell us what has been happening in your life since winning the gold.
Sure. Well, it's been such a whirlwind. We can't believe it's been 2 years now since Sochi. It's gone by incredibly quickly, but I think that's in part due to the fact that we are really loving the opportunities that we have. We have been traveling the world doing some skating, some speaking engagements, all sorts of different things that we wouldn't really get a chance to take the opportunity to do if we were competing. So we're really glad to be taking the time to pursue other opportunities at the moment.
Hey, Charlie, why are you in China so close to the World Championships?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're not competing, so that's an important aspect. If we were, we definitely wouldn't be able to be in China right now. But we are in China here with Visa as part of the 2016 U.S.-China Tourism Year. Just a wonderful opportunity between the two countries, promoting tourism, and we've been able to come through China quite a few times through competitions and exhibitions. So it's really nice for us to be here without having to worry about being in a skating rink or being judged, just to enjoy the sights and culture of Beijing and other parts of China. So we're really making the most of it, and we think it's a wonderful initiative.
Merrill, you're going to be a part of a huge event at the Great Wall later today. Tell us what that's about.
That's right. Charlie and I are going to be leading a large group of a couple hundred American tourists to the top of the Great Wall. We're going to be doing a quick warm-up to make sure everybody's ready and hiking to the top where we'll be having a champagne toast to kick off this exciting initiative and this exciting year between the U.S. and China.
That sounds like a nice afternoon.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that does sound good.
Hey, Charlie, what are your plans for the next Winter Olympics in 2018?
Yeah, not a bad way to spend your afternoon, right?
Absolutely not. Hey, Charlie, talking to you now, what are your plans for the next Winter Olympics in 2018?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're actually not sure, and it's such a big question for us. Obviously, we are fully aware of what it takes to be your best, to what it takes to win a gold medal at the Olympics, and having already won, we certainly wouldn't want to go back and disappoint. So we have to, you know, sort of within the next 6 to 8 months, sit down and really figure out if we want to make that sacrifice. And if we do, that'll be great. If not, that you know, we're totally comfortable with that. So for us right now, it certainly feels like a win-win. But yeah, I mean, we're feeling great. If we want to go back, we definitely could.
Yeah, and what brings you over then to China too? Isn't there like a tourism initiative that you guys are working with?
That's right. We're here with Visa as a part of the 2016 U.S.-China Year of Tourism. And we're super excited and very honored to be a part of it. We're encouraging our fellow Americans to come on over to China and experience all that it has to offer themselves, from the culture to the history and just the magnificent sights here. It's incredible, and we hope everybody gets a chance to make some memories here themselves.
Where can we go to get more information?
You can go to visa.com if you want to find out more. And obviously, Meryl and I are going to be taking lots of pictures and lots of videos. So if you can stop by our social media pages, you'll be able to find out all the wonderful things that we'll be doing here.
Excellent. Meryl and Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck down the road.
Awesome. Thank you so
very much.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, I tell you what, it's kind of weird when you're talking to someone that's all the way over in the Great Wall, and we're all the way over here, and we're trying to do it by like phone and by satellite and by everything else. But that seems kind of interesting, doesn't it?
Well, I'd be excited to be over there right now.
Right?
You know,
Heck
Great
yeah.
Wall, champagne toast, mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
That's what I'm thinking as well. So sorry for some of the delay and going back and forth, but I tell you what, pretty interesting stuff nonetheless. Check them out, Meryl Davis and Charlie White, and all the information that they gave you as far as travel as well. We'll be back on the sports news right after this on CW57 Sports. This celebrity interview is sponsored by On Ice Promotions. Our thanks to all of our guests today, and thank you for watching the sports news powered by the Red Zone. Check out Rick and all the boys on Regent Street or online at redzonemadison.com. We'll see you next time right here on the sports news on Channel 57.